Alrighty ho there, friends and neighbors. Bobby here tonight. I want to welcome everybody here to show number 8, I believe this is. Let me cut this volume down just a little bit. This is our 8th live question and answer show. And see, we already have a couple people here with us. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we'll be here for 30 minutes to answer any of your automotive questions you may have about your car or any home improvement questions as well. Okay? And let's see here. Let's start with what have we been doing this week. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I failed to make a Monday morning update video this weekend or earlier this week. We didn't have a whole lot going on over the weekend that I felt like I needed to make a video to let you know about it. I spent some time with my kids this weekend. We also, at our job site that we were working on, part of what we were doing was really not that exciting of things to make videos about or what have you. And so anyway, I just didn't really do a Monday morning update video. And since last Thursday night, I think we've only released one video, and that would be on how to mount a TV and a sound bar. I hope you guys saw that. If not, check my latest videos and you should be able to check that one out as well. Okay, guys, I'm going to go through my little advertisements here right quick while we're waiting on a few more people to get here. If you have any questions, please shout out. Your questions come priority to anything that I'm talking about on here. So anyway, number one, I want to let you guys know that I am on Patreon. If you want to support our channel, you can for as little as $1 a month. Also, we have a PayPal tip jar. If you would like to give us a one-time donation, that would be great. It will help to fund any videos in the future. Also, we are on social media. There's links on every video for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we are on Blogger as well. Haven't been putting a whole lot on there in several years, but hopefully I'll get busy writing some more articles and stuff. Okay, if you want to contact me, it is minthillbillymail@aol.com, and I do check that email daily. If you have a product you'd like for me to review, please send me a message, okay? Also, we do have a physical address now, and the link is on every video. You can click on any video and find that physical address in case you have a product or so that you want to send me to review or what have you. Or if you just want to write Mint Hillbilly a letter and send me a letter, that's awesome too. I will definitely read it. Okay, we also have we've had this for quite some time. The eBay store that we have is minthillbillystore.com. That link will take you straight to our eBay store. As of right now, there's absolutely nothing for sale there. But please do save that in your favorites, because here in the near future, we do have a couple products that we're working on that we want to be able to sell in our eBay store. Also, on every video, there will be links to some books that I recommend to be a good read. There's also 7 tools that I recommend that everyone should own, and there's Amazon links to Amazon for these products, and they're all reasonably priced. And also I have links to some of the equipment that we use in making our videos as well. Okay, let's get back to this book list right here quick, because actually I'm going through something right here this week that I want to mention. And one of the things that the Total Money Makeover, which is the book by Dave Ramsey, that's the #1 book on my list. He recommends baby step 3 for him is saving up 6 months of expenses. Okay, he says anywhere from 3 to 6 months. I personally think if you're a homeowner, at a minimum, you need to have 6 months, okay? And here's the reason why, all right? If you have an air conditioning system or something like that go out on your house, that could be several $1,000s, okay? And the worst thing that you can do in an emergency is actually finance that. You know, create more debt, put it on a credit card, or go through some type of little loan company that the heating and air guy might be able to hook you up with for some financing, okay? Worst thing you can do is finance more debt in a crisis, okay? So have that 6-month emergency fund set up, okay? Highly recommend that to anyone, especially a homeowner. And actually, the reason that I am mentioning that is because although I do technically do about everything myself, I have a little plumbing issue right now that I'm going to hire someone to take care of for me, all right? Because over the years, I have copper pipes in this old house that I live in, and I've had some break here and there. I've actually replumbed both my bathrooms. I've fixed a little elbow in the laundry room one time. I've done several different repairs myself. There's even a video on here when I fixed the cold water line that busted going to my kitchen a few years ago. But now I've got down to the point, I noticed today when I was putting in some foundation mix. Hey, we got someone that says hello. Let's see here. Let me scroll up here a little bit. I saw it pop on the screen. Knee Gear says hi. Hi to you, my friend. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you have any questions about your car or home related, please feel free to ask me and I'll answer it if I can. Back to my little story on the plumbing issue. There's still some copper pipes in this home, some of the 3/4 lines that run all the way down the length of the house. And I actually called in a guy today to give me an estimate. He gave me a pretty fair estimate, okay? So I'm going to actually hire this fellow to do the work. That's going to save me a lot of headaches. I'm a big fella, and it's kind of hard for me to crawl around underneath the house, okay? So I'm actually going to hire a man and create a little bit of work for him, and he's going to get that knocked out for me next week. So anyway, guys, my point is anytime you have some kind of an emergency, it's great to have that money, okay? Have that money already saved up. And Knee Gear says, okay, let's see here. He says, yes, what if you run over a man with your car and then you run away? What do you do? Okay, well, I'm not so sure about that question there, Mr. Knee Gear, but that's definitely something. If I don't know if you're joking around with me or not, but if that's something that would happen, you definitely would want to. Should I go to Mexico? No, you should just stand there and wait for the police to get there. I do believe you definitely wouldn't want to run from anything like that. Okay. All right. Any other questions out there, friends? I'm here for at least 30 minutes with you here tonight. All right. All right, guys, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have about your car, your automobile, and or home improvement questions that you may have out there. Please fire away. And hang on just a minute, guys. Okay. Guys out there, if you have any questions, please let me know. And I actually just got a piece of advice from another person there, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that as we speak.
Says block. No.
Hang on, folks.
Does it not say a block? Oh, that's because you're on. You're not signed in. You gotta sign in for yours.
All righty. Hang on 1 minute, friends. Hang on just 1 second. Any questions out there? Hang tight with me here. We'll go a little extra time since I'm killing some time here. Hey guys, if you're out there, give me a shout out where you're from. Trying to get to a point here. Here we go.
Now you should be able to click on that. Click on that. It should give you the option of blocked.
Okay. All right. Okay, Emma, thank you for the recommendation there. We got that taken care of there right quick. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about the delay there. Please, any questions that you may have out there, fire away. I'm here for. We're going to stay here a little longer now since I've actually wasted some of your time here tonight. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Yep, thank you there, Emma. I finally figured that out. I had to actually log into my channel to actually do that. But anyway, we took care of that. I don't know what that guy was. I think he was just messing with us or what have you. But anyway, all right. I guess that's the first time I've actually had that happen on this show, and I guess it probably won't be the last. I'll be a little bit more prepared for that next time. All right. Well, like I said, folks, a couple of things I want to mention. I know we showed you last week that I made the little ring for my daughter, and I'm going to show it to you here. I did see her over the weekend, an early part of the week, and she wore it to work one day, but we had she wanted an engraving on it, okay? And I actually got it back from the engraver today. I don't know if you can see this in the camera. I'll try to get close there. I don't know if you can see what it says, but it says Smoopy, okay? And that is, I think I pronounced that right. My daughter and I love watching the Goldbergs, okay? She's got me into that. They have that on Hulu, and we have been going back and getting caught up all the way from season 1. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen that TV show, but that is very funny. And the little word that the mother always calls the kids is Smoopy, okay? Or I guess I'm pronouncing it right, I don't know. But she wanted that put on this ring, okay? So we definitely had that done. And she'll be here tomorrow night, and she'll pick this up tomorrow night, and then she'll be probably wearing it with pride. Okay, anyway, that's about our little ring. What else did I want to talk about tonight? There's one more thing I was going to mention, and of course, guys, please fire away if you have any questions at all, and I will try my best to answer your question, okay? Here's one thing I've been working on this week. I was a little unsure if I even wanted to mention this, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and tell you anyway. You might think I'm crazy. But anyway, I started writing a screenplay this week, okay? It's something that I've always wanted to do, write a book or write a screenplay or whatever. But I've had this idea that actually come from a dream that I had several times. And I actually kind of started brainstorming on the idea, and I decided that I was going to write a screenplay, okay? So I've actually started that this week. And a piece of software that I'm going to purchase, I've been doing a lot of research because I have no idea how to write a screenplay, but I've done a lot of research on the internet, and there's a piece of software when I get to to a little bit later point in my writing, I'm going to go ahead and purchase it. It's called Final Draft 10, okay? And that is the form that the movie industry requires a product to be in that format, you know, if they're even going to take the time to read your screenplay, okay? In the hopes of, you know, maybe getting a movie that actually makes it into a movie, okay? So I'm going to be purchasing that soon. I will put a link in this video for the product Final Draft 10. If you ever had the hopes and dreams of maybe writing your own screenplay, I'll provide you the software that you'll need to purchase to do that, okay? So that's just something that I have been working on a little bit this week as well, okay? And I just wanted to throw that out there, and I will give you updates on that when that becomes more complete, and if I'm ready to send that off to maybe a movie company to get their opinion on it, okay? And I figure worst case scenario, you know, I don't expect my first writing attempt to ever become a movie, and you know, chances of that would be very, very little. I will just simply turn it into I will self-publish it into a Kindle book and put it up for sale on Amazon, okay? So we'll at least do that with it, you know, within the next 6 months or so. So it'll at least be a book that may not sell more than 10 copies, but hey, it'll be a book that I can say I wrote, you know? So there you go. But anyway, folks out there, thank you for joining us tonight. I see we have 5 people with us tonight, and we have 4 likes, and thank you very much for being with us. And if you have any questions about your car or home improvement, please fire away. And I'll be here for at least another probably 15-20 minutes or so. So, folks, give me a shout out. Let me at least know where you're from. Where you're from out there. We're here in North Carolina, as you may well know. We've had people from 3 different countries that have joined us in the past, Australia, Canada, and Germany, okay? We caught the guy in Germany. He was watching our show right before he had to go to work. I guess it was like morning time over there. He was actually getting ready to go to work one morning and chatted with us a little bit. But and we've had people from all over the country. We've had people from Texas. We've had people from New Jersey, Kentucky, and some other states that I'm probably forgetting at this moment. And I'm sorry if I forgot where you were from. But let us know, and if you have any questions, fire away. I do have a talking point that I will go ahead and get to. I'm going to keep a lookout on these questions in case anybody brings any to the table here. What we're going to talk about tonight, we found this article, and I will put a link to this article after this live session is over. It will be attached here. And let's see here. It's from Motor Trend newsletter. And it's called The Top 10 Greatest American Cars of All Time. I thought that would be a good little topic here that we could put here. Let's see here. Alrighty, let's see here. I was looking to see if we had any more comments here, but I don't believe we have any here. Okay. All right, anyway, let's see here. The first one on the list being the Ford Model T, okay? So that's one of the top 10 vehicles of all time. I do know a little bit about the Model T. Let's see, actually it has some pricing here. Let's see, it says it was produced for 19 years, from 1908 to 1927. Almost 15 million of them were made. Prices falling from $825 to $260 by 1925. Okay. I do know this. I remember watching some type of history program one time, and they talked about the Model T. You know, that was something that this country, when we struck oil, you know, back in the early 1900s, I'm not real sure. And then there was a need for, um, you know, I guess prior to that, there was already some car manufacturers, and only really wealthy people had automobiles. But Henry Ford decided that, you know, he was going to try to build a car affordable for everyone to own, you know, everyone in the middle class or what have you. And so these vehicles were built, and I guess this is the price here, you know, from anywhere from $260 to $825. What I had been told before, that it would be about 3 months of a man's salary, okay, of a household salary. And I always thought about that, you know, wow, you know, if we actually went back to thinking that way these days, we wouldn't have as many people in car debt, okay? Because if you use that rule of thumb right there, that any car that you drive, you should be able to pay for it within 3 months. Well, we could take a man making $40,000 a year. He shouldn't buy a vehicle that costs more than $10,000, okay? Something that he could pay off with at least 3 months of his salary, okay? And that's the way people did it back then. And now we've gotten to a point where there's cars that cost $50,000, $60,000. And I even saw a BMW one time that cost $107,000, you know. And but there's people that, you know, make $25,000, $30,000 a year, and they're able to get finance for a $40,000 car, $50,000 car. And number one, a vehicle to me is just transportation, and it you know, and it loses its value, and we're just paying more and more and more for these cars and getting ourselves. Car debt is just eating away at people's wealth. You know, it just keeps you down, you know, when you constantly put so much money into a car. But anyway, that's my opinion, okay? And that's number one on the list. That was the Model T. Let me go back over to my other screen if I can. I'm going to try to. Let's see if I can jump back over here. Okay. No, let's stay where we're at. Let's stay exactly where we're at. Okay. And guys, if you have any gals, if you have any questions, please feel free to fire away. Okay. All right. Number two on our list here. Let's move down here. Would be the Ford Model 18. Okay. I have never, let's see, launched in 1932. Okay, yeah, I do know this body style from 32 on up, you know, that's a very sought after body style that a lot of hot rodders and stuff want to get a hold of. And you see a lot of those on the street today. Well, not a lot of them on the street today, but you see a lot of people, you know, at car shows and stuff that have actually restored these cars, and they, you know, have small block Chevys in them or something like that. But they're really cool looking cars. Guys, I will have this link down below after this video so you can check out this article. There's pictures of each one of these cars. And so that was number two on the list. The number three on the list is the Duesenberg Model Sj. Okay. It's kind of a big, long looking vehicle. And this is number three on the list for them. I don't really find it that attractive of a car. I mean, it looks like a fancy car, definitely. But each one of these cars, it has a little bit of literature about it. So you might find some interest in checking these out. Let's move on down the list. The Jeep MB. Not sure what MB is. I'm sure there's a picture of one, looks like an older, like military vehicle. I do know Jeeps were made, first of all, for the military. And it goes into, let's see here. Little thing about the Jeep, the Dakota airplane, and the landing craft were the three tools that won the war, claimed Dwight D. Eisenhower. Okay, and that was during World War II. Okay, yeah, the Jeep has definitely been around, and now they're very, anyone drives a Jeep. There's so many different Jeeps now, your Cherokees, Grand Cherokees, and the Wrangler's probably the closest thing to being like an old Jeep, because the top can come off on them and the doors can pop off and stuff like that. Anyway, I guess we're on number 4 now, maybe number 5, I'm not sure, but the Oldsmobile Rocket 88, okay? And this is back in the 50s, okay? Rock and roll began with a song about a car. Elvis Presley was still driving a gravel truck when 19-year-old Ike Turner walked into a tiny studio owned by Sam Phillips in Memphis in 1951 and recorded Rocket 88, okay? I didn't know that till I read that earlier. I wasn't sure who actually had recorded that song, and I wasn't sure on what year either. But anyway, that's a very popular car. Back then, it had a V8 engine, 135 horsepower V8 engine. So there you go. All right. Now, the next one I'm sure we've all heard of, the Chevrolet Corvette. And I do know a little bit about them. They started in 1953. I used to work on Corvettes, guys. Back in the early 90s, I worked at a Corvette restoration shop where I'd done mechanical work, and I got the opportunity to learn the trade of paint and body as well, okay? And done that for a couple years, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of learning experience, and Corvettes, worked on a lot of the older ones. We actually done a frame off on a 60 Corvette when I was working there. We had several of them that we worked on, ones from the 60s, we called them the mid-year cars, and the cars from the 70s as well, and some of the newer ones, but I haven't fooled with any of them in many, many years. But they definitely are cool cars, especially like the old mid-years. I remember my boss let me drive his 66, I believe it was 66 convertible home one weekend, and I was real careful with it. I put it in the garage and everything. I mean, I did not want to scratch or anything to get on that car, but we did take it for a drive up to visit my parents and show them that car that night. But very nice old cars. Everybody always looks your way when you're driving something like that. Okay, next on the list, the Ford Mustang. And friends, if you have any questions out there, please feel free to fire away. And let's see here. Yep, the Ford Mustang. I believe they come out in 64, I do believe. And there's some information about that on here as well. I won't go into too much about that. And then let's see here. The next one would be the Ford GT. I don't know why I can't get this screen over here to tab down right. Let me read a little bit about that. I don't know a whole lot about the GT. I know it was kind of like a racing vehicle. And Henry Ford thought he had a deal. 9 months later, a negotiation was over, and on July 4th, 1963, he was planning to be in Maranello, Italy, signing a $10 million deal with Enzo Ferrari that would give Ford Motor Company a half share in the storied Italian sports car maker. Okay, and so it must have been a mix with that. I'll read on further later on that, and you guys will be able to read as well on this article. Okay, now the next one on the list, the Chrysler Minivan. Are you kidding me? What's the title of this article again? The top 10 vehicles of all time? Okay. Chrysler Minivan. All right, I guess so. They've been around for a while. I've worked on a bunch of them over the years. Says this come out in 1983. Yep, boy. I don't miss working on vehicles from the 80s. That was definitely a decade of cars that had carburetors in the beginning. Then they went to ported fuel injection, and then they went to multi-port injection. Ignition systems went from distributors to distributorless, and there's just a lot of changing and everything that happened in the 80s, and it was, you know, it was rough kind of keeping track of all that, all OBD1 stuff, and every car had different codes for everything. Not a good decade to be a mechanic, I wouldn't think. Cars had standard bolts here and metric bolts here, converting some of them over, you know, your brackets and everything on your engine would be, you use metric wrenches on those, and everything going to the main engine was still standard. There's just a lot of mixture of a lot of different things. They use vacuum lines for everything, you know, little solenoids controlling this and that, and vacuum lines running everywhere. That was just a mess. And V-belts, cars may have 4 V-belts on them. I just don't miss those days at all. Anyway, the next on the list is the Tesla Model S. Okay. I mean, who can afford one of these things? I can't believe this is in the top 10. I mean, I don't know very much about these things. But, I don't know. Let's move on. Let's see. How many more is there here? Okay, maybe that was the last one. Maybe I hope I didn't skip any. I may have. Anyway, all right, guys, that was our little talking point for tonight. If you have any questions, please fire away. We've went about 32 minutes now. And once again, I will go over the my little advertising points here. We are on Patreon. If you feel the need to support us, please do. Also, we have a PayPal tip jar. We are on social media. There's links on every video for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Blogger. Okay. Also, you can contact me at minthillbillymail@aol.com. And we do have a physical address now. If you would like to send me something, whether it be a product to review, please feel free. And also, we have an eBay store as well. Minthillbillystore.com will take you to our eBay store. But there's absolutely nothing for sale there right now, but there will soon be. Okay, so definitely mark that in your favorites, and you can go back and check it later. Okay, books that I recommend. I have a list of 5 on every video that I recommend reading. We also have a list of 7 tools that everyone should own. Number 1 being a claw hammer, okay? Number 2 being a 25-foot tape measure. Number 3 being a level. I got a 4-foot one on here, a link to a 4-foot one, but you can get by with a 2-foot level. A tool set. I think it's a 165-piece tool set that pretty much gives you a good assortment of sockets, extensions, and ratchets. Number 5 would be a square. I think our link is to a little speed square, but a speed square or a framing square is handy to have around. A cordless drill comes in handy to have around the house. I think everyone should own one. And also, if you are a homeowner and you ever plan on doing any type of little projects around your house, whether it be just simply building a dog house for your dog, I recommend a circular saw. Okay. And let's see here. We do have a question. Hey, this is from Dad here. Let's see. In my day, we use hay baling wire for the brackets, for all brackets, and emergency fix. Okay. What are we talking about, Dad? Hay baling wire for all brackets and emergency fix. Okay. There you go. Well, yeah, I've used some coat hangers and stuff to strap up exhaust systems on cars before, back in the day when I didn't have anything else to do when I was a younger fella. feller. But anyway, there you go. So let's see here. I'll stay here for a few more minutes, guys. If you have any questions, please fire away or let me know where you're from. We have 5 people still here with us tonight. And once again, folks, let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I realized hay used to be baled with wire. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I've actually seen it baled with wire or not in my lifetime, but I guess I did figure it at one time it did. But anyway, folks, we're going to continue being here every Thursday night for you for at least 30 minutes or so. I want to be here for my subscribers and anybody that wants to join us to answer any questions that you may have about your car or any home improvement questions that I might be able to answer for you as well. Okay, folks, I think that's going to just about wrap it up for tonight. We've been on here about 36 minutes or so. And I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Please check back with us this week. I'm sure we'll have a couple new videos posted later in the week. And we will see you soon, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful day.